It's amazing how quickly one's mood can be changed as soon as they actually put on some music. And it almost, in a way, is not as good, because by removing some of the pain, it actually allows you to remove some of the wisdom that would come with it. Hey, Helen. So, the idea of procrastination, the chemist is closing in about 60 seconds. And I had 20 minutes to get here, but I just sat there on the couch thinking about going to the chemist. Hey. And one asks themselves, why be demoralized when so much is achieved in one day by the autist? What did I do? I had a physics astronomy assignment due in a month, which I finished today, and I was up to question 3 out of 20, and I did all of them in a couple of hours and got 92%. And that's not really a big deal because it's a first year subject, so it's not that hard to do. And on top of that, was able to finish almost completely the assignment for ethics. Type all of that up. It was like 1,000 or 2,000 words. It wasn't that big either, just a few A4 pages, thanks. And yet, despite that, I feel completely and utterly demoralized, and that has resulted in me now thinking out loud as to how can this be so. I do definitely think that it is related to the expectation of what I actually wanted to achieve in the day. Degree, it's a mathematics degree, but I'm probably going to do my honors in quantum mechanics. So let's see if we've made the chemist before they've closed, huh? Let's see how we go. Because I've had this happen before at the post office. You know, at the post office, they're like, we're closed. I'm like, hold on, it's not 5 o'clock yet. But they're closed anyway because the bitch was like absolutely lazy. You know, that's us making judgments, of course. Could have been that she was just a bitch and not lazy. Phone's dying, have a beautiful one, good luck. All right, my dear, always a pleasure. And it looks like it's not 7 o'clock. I knew this would happen. It's 6:59. It's 6:59. Bastards. Am I too late for meds? I can come back tomorrow if it takes more than a minute to do.
I'm sure that's fine. Should be fine.
Is that Vince? I forget his name.
Jeremy.
Jeremy, that's right. I spoke to him on the phone 20 minutes ago. I couldn't get off the couch. Hi. We're in the ambiguous period where you have 1 minute to close, but this will take more than a minute to do.
Yeah? What do you need?
It's just a telepram.
Okay, that should be fine.
Oh, right.
Are you going to pay by card?
Yes. Oh, card or
is the
cash?
best for us if you can.
Card it is.
Because the cash is out of the till already.
No worries.
Sure.
There you go. All right, we made it. Now, so guys, Jeremy is absolutely brilliant. That was very nice of him to do that. So you never know. You never know what's going to happen in your day to make it a bit better. How's that? Look at that. These are the new sunglasses. So talking about procrastination. The question is, look at all that Gabflix achieves in one day, and yet he considers that a procrastination. And that has something to do with his expectation. And the expectation is based upon a history and combined memories. Hey, tomorrow's here. The memories that have occurred in one's life.
That one's ready.
That was quick. That's awesome. I should always come at 7:15 next time. Okay, bye. Yeah, bye. Hola.
No, I didn't. You didn't. $17, please.
There you go, ma'am. Oh, pay pass.
Yep, when you're ready. Do you want a bag?
Do I want a bike?
A bag.
A bag. Okay, a bike would be awesome. No bag, no problem. Every time I have some of my Fat Blaster stuff, I remember you now, because you held it for me.
Sorry, you wanted a bag?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
That's
Cheers.
all right. Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
You too.
I gotta let you out.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
All right, bye-bye. done. That was nice of them to do that. Morning wahish. Yeah, you're the wahish, my friend. You know, as the dome father, you actually look way good with the dome. I've got to say, you got to look at that as making a new look. He looks like a bit of a gangster, don't you think? It's like walking around with the glasses, like I'm the dome father. So I'm assuming some people have seen a new link. Oh, okay. I'm assuming people have seen the Dome Father's new site that he's built. It's all him, my friends. I believe he's being very generous with his rewarding of the Gab Smack for the content. But, as I can tell you, if you believe in the Dome Father, then you can go to his page, and it's the Gab universe, basically. But it's really all the Dome Father. Dome Father took the ingredients, and he's the chef, and he turned it into the Gab universe. The Dome Father created a universe. That's right. On the third day. So the whole archive is there. All of the content, basically, pretty much, in terms of... what are we going to talk about in terms of Think Gabby, Think Squirrel, a yummy universe. That's terrible. Oh man. So now you got me lost for words. We're trying to think of the universe, but now it's completely gone. So yeah, I'm going to find that link and I'm going to post it to the Periscope thing, and I'll put it on my Facebook and Twitter. And so I think I've already tweeted it out. But it's pretty good the way he's archived it. He split it up between, you know, things such as the comedy, the mathematics, the physics, and then the autism section on its own. It's a brilliant archive. It's almost like a Gab Wikipedia of all of that content you can get straight from the Dome Father and the Savant together, united, and made something quite spectacular, which is pretty good. So procrastination is really an illusion based upon how much you expected to achieve in one day. The question is, why is it so ridiculous that why I'm not really in a talking position. I might have to stop this scope early. Maybe because I'm half awake. I fell asleep for 3 hours because I only slept 4 hours before, and I've got to go do buses tonight. It's such a depressing job sometimes, man. I don't know why. It's not even a bad job. You know, it's I'm stopping at different stops. There are lovely people on board. It's nice and peaceful on the roads. It could be because everyone's dead asleep that it makes you feel alone, which is such a stupid illusion, because when they're awake, you're not talking to them anyway. So I'm not really sure what the hell's going on with that. Anyway, this scope is not really that good, but I really wanted to talk about procrastination. I might jump into the VIP guys later once I have a coffee or something, or maybe a tea, or I'm going to go back to Gabversity and do some astronomy. That might be the way to go. But that's the problem. The problem is why there's this compelling describing our emerging relationship last night, valuing our similarities and differences. It is a very unique example of how the West can rebuild itself, and I don't really see any other way of it happening, really. So yeah, it's great that you can mobilize your warriors of the West. In that respect, I think I might be losing people. We only have 3. It must be because it's early morning, probably. Ooh, ow! What was that? That was some sort of dead animal. Me either. I want to join forces. I think the forces are joined already. It's probably why so many people are drawn to your scopes, and some of them are drawn to mine for that reason, I would have to say. Could also be the light tan that I'm getting. Too funny. Anyway, so there's got to be a way. There has to be a way, and I'm only thinking out loud here. I haven't prepared this, as you know. What a surprise. Gabsmack hasn't prepared something. There's got to be a way to accept that what I produce in a day, I'm sure there is. Absolutely. Why is it that what I achieve in a day is not enough? Now the question is it because it's not enough that actually explains how I'm able to do so much in a day in the first place. If I had realistic goals for the day, let's assume that the goals, let's assume I believed it was enough. If that was the case, then would I continue to do as much as I do? And my thinking is that I wouldn't. With the fur. So my thinking is not, absolutely. Low, 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 low. I got an awesome Arabic remix of Low. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. The thinking is I think not. But I guess would it matter if I achieved as much as I did if the goal or the reason for it being achieved was a healthy one with human resources? Yeah. Yes, this is definitely the practical version. And the question is, why is it that some human brains have this obsessive, irrational need to overachieve? And I'm sure that it's a combination of running out of time, the illusion of running out of time, combined with wanting to compensate for a past which has left potentially the illusion of no legacy. And why is the legacy important? That might have something to do with the psychology of the victim of bullying, who then, irrespective of how tall or smart or acceptable they are in life, they remain chained to the small victim that was within them. Robert Blaze Abyss. Ooh, while wanting to be filled, yeah. And that is not a dirty joke, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, that's probably exactly. You are procrastinating on important tasks by being very busy. Ooh, that's interesting. That's an interesting point. Yes, and what are those tasks, I wonder? That's really the question. Because in one day, right, so for example, as you now know, I'm a month ahead in those two subjects. And with quantum mechanics, there were about 6 or 7 questions assigned to us for the next 3 weeks. And I've already done 13, and my plan is to do all the rest as well. The question is, why then does that feel insufficient? It feels insufficient because it's like, and this is another illusion. This is only the mid step. I used to think this was the final step. Hey, Scott, welcome back. The mid step, right, which I used to think was the final step, was that, if I'm spending too much time doing these subjects, then I am left rendered unable to complete my Arabic, my French, my Italian, my Syriac, and my Greek, and my Hebrew. Yeah, absolutely. That empty hole, absolutely. And I used to think that was the final question. But the thing is, I've had days where I was able to actually do all of that. And the question is, was I then satisfied? No. Because why am I now wanting to learn Greek? Because I was able to do 4 languages in a day. So then I thought 4 isn't enough. Let's do 6. So, and then there was the desire to add Spanish on top, right? So it is a never-ending cascade of additional desires to achieve and complete things in a certain day. This is a ridiculous problem. It's all about the direction. It's not about the volume of what's completed. And that comes back to what the Dome Father is talking about with these abyss, abys. What's the plural of abyss? Let's just say abysses. Well, that's exactly correct. The abyss is never filled, and it manifests in various forms. Like, I'm sure I've had this nature before, where in my 20s it was like I had to date enough women to compensate for the fact that women used to bully me quite a fair bit when I was a kid. Now you realize that will never happen, and intellectually you realize it a long time before it somehow sets into the brain. But once it sets, it becomes easy. You then move on and go, yep, that will never happen, move on. And that was it. And then I started saying, all right, now let's focus on finding the one and all that. And that's been a great relief. That's been a burden that has been beautifully removed from from the overburdened mind. Then we have these other things, which is, I know what it is. There is a desire to show the world what my brain can do. And I would say not in spite of, but specifically and implicitly because of, even explicitly now, because of the abuse that was handed down to the younger version of me for 25 years. And somehow psychologically that has left this abyss in the brain that needs to be filled by overachieving. And it doesn't matter how much overachieving there is. Because if I didn't do any of these languages, if I just did Arabic, right, and just did physics, and I'm a classical pianist anyway, right, it's already at a point where people are happy. People are amazed at what this person can achieve. There is no need to do any more. So clearly, it's an ugly hole of alone primeval. So you know the feeling, huh? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you know. Nothing surprises me with the dome. At all. At all. Yeah. So if that's true, let's assume that's true, that the abyss of which you speak is absolutely correct, which it's completely consistent with what I'm describing. So if that's even true, how does one either seal up the abyss or decide to not want to fill it? Because there's nothing wrong with having, hey Catherine, there's nothing wrong with having an abyss that you don't need to necessarily fill. You can leave it as it is. There are abysses, I guess is the word. There are abysses all over the universe that don't compel us to want to fill them up constantly, right? So yeah, that's really it. And everything gets in the way. So yeah, getting ready for work gets in the way of completing the physics degree tomorrow, right? Going to work gets in the way of having to do study tomorrow because I'm going to have to be asleep. Okay. Yeah, no, completely makes sense. As always, a wise move. Unlike the Gab smack who thinks out loud. Anyway, yeah, that's I'm probably gonna have to go anyway. Project management system, you are creating more tasks than your operating system can do. Well, see, these are practical solutions. Most times the damaged human mind, when left unoccupied, will search for what more it can do. That's exactly Tommy Watkins, damn straight. Very interesting, the two completely different answers, one functional and one dealing with the underlying situation. Both of them completely accurate. At the functional one, I used to think the functional one would solve the problem, but it's exactly what Tommy just said, which is that there is the desire underneath which will inherently seek to destroy any structure that Dr. Sexy would build. So let's assume, you came to Australia and said, all right, I'm going to do this, and I make the whole system and it's all amazing. If that was running, both sides same coin, yes. If that was running perfectly, I am now of the opinion, of the informed opinion, I would say, or at least semi-informed, that I would be miserable and I would find a way to add even more stuff to do to the day. And that's exactly why my mind went to what Tommy said, where you have to search for what is this desire coming out of the damaged brain. Yeah, exactly, yeah. What is that desire coming out of the damaged brain which is causing you to be compelled to fill this abyss which you know will never be filled? Who gives a shit, right, seriously, if I can only speak 3 languages? Why is that a problem? I'm studying a doctorate in mental health psychology. Well, you could have fooled us, and now you're just a cheater. Higher than oneself helps with type of self-destruction. It's another valid point. In fact, one of my higher purposes is to come on here and share these thoughts, because the amount of positive feedback I get from people who are seemingly going through similar experiences and yet don't talk about them is enough of a motivation to keep doing this. And this feels almost like it's more important than the rest of the stuff. It's a whole other dimension. Here I am sitting in the car. My dad's going to go nuts soon. Poor guy. Why are you sitting in the car? Come inside. You're married to one. What's worse, being one or being married to one? Too good. That was good. That was a good conversation. See, now I'm compelled to leave because I want to go in, shower, get ready for work, and then try and sneak in some calculus. Yeah. So, you know, why that need is something that needs to be dealt with. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm sure it's related to the memories that I had. If you go to YouTube, Psychoanalyzed to Death. Yeah, if you go to YouTube, there he is, he's turning on the light. There was a 12-minute video I did after having a 4-hour and 15-minute anxiety attack. And what was interesting is that some of the memories that I thought were dealt with and done with were able to come up quite viciously during that period. And so that might be related. Those memories of the disastrous treatment by both, you know, teachers and students, and then subsequently ex-partners who my younger self searched for, you know, the malicious type of sociopathic, vindictive human being that would do nothing but seek to destroy your soul on every level. Interesting. Sounds like a plan, Mr. Parendome. Well, what the hell? This guy's a machine, man. Unbelievable. It's like he's gonna one day, like in 3 centuries time, still be around, like writing doctorates. This guy is amazing. Anyway, yeah. So on a lighter note, the Pompous mug is coming out, and the first edition is going to be offered to the originals first, I would say, and then it will go out to everybody. You have the Abyss too. Where are we? What's it called? It's going to be I'm Not Rude, I'm Pompous, and it's going to be the drawing that Miss Kasha made of the young Pompous. So that'll be the first mug, and we'll see how we go with that. We might even, the later ones can be more, you know, designed more. We'll have Gabversity, where facts don't care about your feelings, and we'll have hashtag ProWest. Is a complete loon. He tells me often I'm just searching for my purpose. That is one way to search for your purpose, Tommy. Let's go do a doctorate. Unfortunately, I actually know the feeling, and that's why I'm, you know, as you know, most of you know, I'm skipping the masters and going straight into the physics doctorate, and I don't even know if I want to do it, and yet I'm compelled to do it anyway. Anywho, so I think it is time to go inside and get ready. An absolute pleasure to hear all of your inputs, as always. It's always a great collaboration. This is really what civilization is about. Civilization. Remember, Gab smacked, where remaining silent is not an option.